Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about how to monetize the Ghost Ark, Doomsday Ark of the Necron, because are the same models simply with different options. So I decided to do such because there are two main reasons. The first is to be able to store better such model because it's quite big and it will be better to store it in a way that it's safer. The second one it's because I need to buy less models because I can combine different amount of models based on what I need without having to have, for example, 3 Ghost Arks and 3 Doomsday Arks, but combine a different amount of them based on the amount that I need. The first thing to do is to take one of the horse hoof that compose the main part of the body of such Ghost Ark or Doomsday Ark and magnetize the inner part. For this you can proceed in different ways. You can put this magnet that you go to put inside in the way that it's in the middle of the stuff, or like I done because I wanted a little different shining one, to use a sort of bit of paper card that in this case I used a transparent one taken for example from the box of the attack one, of anyway something transparent but a bit flexible, because my error here was that I glued the horsehoof of this metal horsehoof before, so I had the problem to insert it inside. Otherwise, if you do it before, you don't have any problem, because before to combine the two different parts of this piece, you can make that it's combined and taking it in the middle, so it's much better. But I thought about such problem after that I yet built on all the horsehooves that compose the middle part of such model. So pay attention about such detail because it's quite important to have better usage of this part. Anyway, I want to remember you, I monetize only the first part that will go to the part of the, I can say, the seat where there is the Necron that it's guiding such model. So remember that you have to have anyway something that it's quite I can say strong as magnet. So don't worry, use eventually a 5 for 3 or some millimeter, but you need something that it's a really strong magnet to put here, because it will have to keep the other part on. Eventually remember that you can also use another strong magnet on the other side. So anyway you can combine the two magnets in the way that you can make it even stronger, the magnetic strength that you need. Remember that there is something that you have to plan and pay attention about a lot, because this is an important step about magnetizing. And about the cabin itself, remember that you had to put the magnet inside before to glue the two different halves of such part of the model together, because otherwise you'll not be able to put inside the magnets that you need. I used the cubic 5mm ones inside here because I needed a really strong magnet inside. So about putting them in the position, eventually you can think about using some guide magnets and so on, so that you are able to glue and then take in the position, in the right position, the way of to have the magnets. And about this you can use different ways. Eventually you can also think about, right after that you glued everything together, to create a sort of hole in the middle of the position, so that you can put another little magnet and have a sort of magnet stronger force transferring, but it's something that you really don't need. What you need is strong magnets at the two sides of such parts, so inside this part of the model, because it will be the one gripping on the central part, because it will be the central part, the one that will have the, I can say, positioning, and this part will be going to be gripped on it. So you need something like really strong to keep the two parts together, but it's not so difficult. A cubic millimeter one inside here, it's what you need about, so don't worry. What you need anyway to think, it's not to misplace the magnets when you put them inside such one, because otherwise you have problems about repositioning them afterward. So pay an extra attention to such step because it's really quite important. About the Gauss-Lee array, that it's simply a rotation of the array in the other direction. It's something that you can avoid because it's only mental exhausting. Really, I tried to magnetize, it's not so difficult, but it's not worth. You use a lot of magnets and you risk to ruin the part I'm interested in. So simply try to build in the way this array in the way that you prefer as main building of the model, and take it because it's not so worth to use such a lot of time to make such modifying. And then we had to magnetize the Doomsday cannon of the Doomsday Ark. So I want to suggest you to put the magnet inside such cannon before to glue the two half part of it. Instead here I put a 5mm cubic one because I needed something quite strong as magnetizing, because combined with the cabin 5mm ones was perfect to keep everything together. Moreover, because it's quite long, so I need something strong. Moreover, because you have to remember that the part of the middle body you have to rotate on the upper part. So in such a way the cannon itself can be sustained and put together with the part that you rotated, and so that it's on the upper part of the Doomsday Ark. So the two parts can be combined so that they can sustain mutually each other, so make them stronger together on the cabin. So it's quite important as a step. And to take a step further, we can also magnetize the link of the Doomsday Cannon to the main body of the Doomsday Ark. So we can put a 2x2mm ones inside the part of the tube that it's as the link, and we can put the same a 2x2mm one in the body of the, I can say, the main body of the Doomsday Ark. In such a way we have a sort of guide, so we create a sort of triangle that make the structure much more solid. So I suggest you to take note about such trick because it's quite nice. And here we can admire the wonderful model of the Doomsday Ark. Now the magnetization of the Ghost Ark side. The first thing is magnetizing the energy core of the Ghost Ark. You simply have to choose a magnetize, choose a 5x2mm one, but you can also choose a 5x1, it's not a problem. And this is useful to make that you can put on, because you are going to use the Ghost Ark, eventually take off if you are going to invert the part to play the Doomsday Ark. And now it's a tune about the Necron warriors of the Ghost Ark. This has two reasons about the magnetizing. The first one is to be able to remove them to convert it in the Doomsday Ark. But the second one it's also a practical one, because you can simply remove and add them when you heal the unit that it's inside. So it's a way also to count the models that are inside the ark itself when you are going to repair the Necron warrior that are embarked in. So it's also a practical one, so think also about such option. And so we had to magnetize the body of the Ghost Ark itself. In this case we are lucky because to be able to put the Necron parts, the bottom parts, we only need to follow the holes that are yet available. Simply I decided to use 2x2mm ones not to ruin anything, because it was perfectly fit and so on. Eventually you can use to have a stronger magnetization 3x2mm ones, but sincerely I suggest you not to do, because the magnetic strength it's enough and you don't ruin the model aesthetically talking to put bigger magnets inside. So try to use 2x2, eventually using a bit of green stuff to finish everything if you want that it's more solid, the magnet inside and so on, but not to worry too much. Mainly try to pay attention because these holes are in the junctions of the horse hooves that are here, so pay attention about such detail eventually, because you risk that trying to glue them together you risk to make them separating or so on to force. So pay a bit of attention about the positioning, but it's not something particularly difficult. You only have to pay a bit of attention. And after magnetize the body, we have also to magnetize the Necron parts. So at the base of the Necrons, you don't even need to cut anything. You have only pay attention, because they are a bit delicate, to make a drill at the base of the seat of the Necrons and put inside the 2 for 2 mm one magnets. Here it's quite simple and you not have any problem about. You have only to pay a bit of attention not to ruin the around, because you are really a little strict in doing this, but it's not a problem at all. And you can try to put them on, and you have to repeat this for both the sides. Eventually, when you try to do such thing, remember to think about the orientation of the magnets. So pay attention about how you want to do, because there are 5 on a side and 5 on the other one. So you have to pay attention where you put the models. So pay attention about such one when you go to magnetize, not to make confuse where to put those ones, because otherwise it will be a bit problematic to remove and adjust everything. And now make them feel the endless legions. And now we can see how it works converting from Ghost Ark to Doomsday Ark. So let's see how to tear down a Ghost Ark. And raise up a Doomsday Ark. The only thing missing to make perfect such model is a real useful base, because the one used for such models it's quite unstable, so I'll change. But it's a reason to bring you another video about it. Anyway, from Dino Mode it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.